Welcome to Best Learn English Online.
As a student of English literature, I often found solace in the quiet corners of the library. The scent of aging paper and the comforting rustle of pages turning were like old friends. My favorite spot was a sun-drenched nook by the window, where I would lose myself in worlds crafted by brilliant minds. One crisp autumn afternoon, I settled into my usual chair, my trusty copy of Pride and Prejudice, resting on my lap. As I flipped through the pages, lost in Elizabeth Bennet's sharp wit, I noticed someone out of the corner of my eye. A girl, perhaps a year younger than me, sat at a nearby table, frowning at a pile of textbooks. Her dark curls fell into her face as she scribbled frantically in her notebook. Intrigued, I glanced at her textbooks, titles like Moby Dick and Wuthering Heights. Caught my eye. I hesitated, then decided to introduce myself. "Hey, I noticed you're studying some heavy hitters," I said, walking over. She looked up, surprise flickering in her hazel eyes. "Yeah, I'm trying to catch up for my lit class. It's a bit overwhelming." "I totally get that. If you ever want to talk about them, I'd be happy to help," I offered, hoping to ease her stress. A shy smile broke through her initial nervousness. "I'm Aisha. I'd appreciate that. I love the stories, but sometimes the language feels like a puzzle." I introduced myself, and we quickly found common ground in our shared passion for literature. Our conversations blossomed into study sessions, where we dissected characters and themes, argued about the merits of romantic poetry, and laughed at our own interpretations. As the weeks passed, our friendship deepened. We began meeting not just in the library but also at a quaint cafe nearby. Aisha's laughter was infectious, and I found myself looking forward to our time together more than anything else. One afternoon, while sipping chai and discussing the symbolism in The Great Gatsby, I mustered the courage to ask, "What draws you to literature?" Aisha paused, her eyes thoughtful. "It's like stepping into someone else's shoes. You can feel their pain, their joy. It makes the world feel bigger, you know?" I nodded, captivated by her insight. "Exactly. It connects us in ways we can't always articulate." That night, as I lay in bed, Aisha's words echoed in my mind. I realized that our friendship had become a story of its own, one filled with shared experiences, laughter, and an unspoken bond that grew with every conversation. As the semester drew to a close, we prepared for final exams. We spent late nights studying, surrounded by notes and half-empty coffee cups. One evening, as we reviewed Jane Eyre, Aisha suddenly looked up, a serious expression on her face. "Can I ask you something?" she said, her voice soft. "Of course." "Do you think we'll still share this passion for literature after graduation? Life tends to pull us in different directions." I took a moment to reflect. I think we will. Literature is a part of us now, like the stories we've read together. It'll always be there, just like our friendship. Aisha smiled, a mixture of hope and uncertainty in her eyes. I'd like to believe that. The next day we met for our final study session. The library buzzed with tension as students crammed for exams. But we found our usual spot, the sun streaming through the window. As we reviewed our notes, I caught Aisha looking out the window, lost in thought. "Hey, you okay?" I asked. She turned to me, a determined glint in her eyes. "I want to write. Stories, poetry, something that captures this feeling. Will you help me?" My heart raced. Of course. We can brainstorm ideas, share drafts. I'd love to. And so, our final project became a collaborative effort. We poured our hearts into our writing, weaving our experiences and emotions into a narrative that captured the essence of our friendship and love for literature. On graduation day, as we tossed our caps into the air, I felt a bittersweet pang. We had each other, but the uncertainty of the future loomed ahead. Still, as we celebrated with friends, I caught Aisha's eye across the crowd. She smiled, and in that moment, I knew we would carry our shared stories with us, no matter where life took us. Years later, as I flipped through a collection of short stories, one title caught my eye: "The Pages Between Us." My heart swelled as I recognized Aisha's name as the author. The stories within were a beautiful tapestry of our shared experiences, our laughter, our late-night debates, and the bonds we forged in the library's warm embrace. I closed the book, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. Literature had given us a connection that transcended time. And in that connection I found a piece of home.
Part 2.
As I delved deeper into the pages between us, memories flooded back. Each story felt like a chapter from our time together, capturing moments both big and small. I could almost hear Aisha's voice narrating the lines, her laughter ringing in my ears as I read about characters that mirrored our own quirks and dreams. One story, titled "The Library of Lost Words," particularly struck me. It explored a fictional library where each book contained the unspoken thoughts of its readers. The protagonist, much like Aisha, wandered through aisles of books, rediscovering forgotten parts of herself through the words of others. I could see Aisha's fascination with the idea of connecting through literature coming to life in every line. As I reached the end, I noticed an acknowledgement section. My heart raced when I saw my name there, nestled among the words of gratitude. To my dear friend who opened the door to a world of stories and dreams. It read. I smiled, a warmth spreading through me. We had always been each other's biggest supporters, but seeing it immortalized in print felt surreal. Inspired, I picked up my own pen and notebook, eager to respond. I began to write my own collection of stories. One that reflected my journey in literature and our friendship. Each piece drew from our late-night discussions, the cafe rendezvous, and the unforgettable moments that had shaped us. I wanted to capture the essence of our bond, how literature had connected us in ways beyond words. As I wrote, I found myself poring over our shared experiences, the laughter, the debates about the merits of modern versus classic literature, and the quiet moments of understanding that passed between us. One evening, as I penned a story about two friends navigating the complexities of life, I imagined Aisha reading it, her smile lighting up the room. After weeks of writing, I finally had a manuscript. I nervously typed up a message to Aisha, inviting her to meet at our favorite cafe. My heart raced as I wondered how she would react. Would she see the love and appreciation woven through the pages? When we met, I handed her the manuscript, my palms sweaty. "I've been working on something. It's for you and for us." Her eyes widened as she took it, curiosity piqued. "You wrote a book?" "Just a collection of stories inspired by our friendship and everything we've shared," I explained, feeling a mix of pride and vulnerability. As she flipped through the pages, I watched her expression shift from surprise to joy. "This is beautiful. You captured so many of our moments." "I wanted to show you how much our time together means to me," I replied, my heart swelling with emotion. After she finished reading, Aisha looked up, her eyes sparkling. "We have to do something with this. We should share it with others." Together we brainstormed how to bring our work to life. We decided to host a small reading event at the local bookstore, inviting friends and fellow students to join us. It would be a celebration of our journeys as writers and our enduring friendship. As the day approached, excitement buzzed in the air. We prepared our pieces, nervously practicing our readings in front of each other. On the night of the event, the bookstore was packed. Familiar faces filled the room, all there to support us. As we took the stage, my heart raced, but Aisha's presence calmed me. We each read excerpts from our stories, sharing laughter and moments of vulnerability with the audience. I felt a rush of exhilaration as I saw the smiles and nods of understanding from friends. It was as if our words had bridged a connection between everyone present. After the readings, we opened the floor for questions. Aisha and I exchanged glances, buoyed by the warmth of the crowd. People shared their own stories about friendship, literature, and the impact of words in their lives. The evening became a tapestry of shared experiences, much like the narratives we had created. As the event wrapped up, a friend approached us. "You two should consider publishing a joint book. The way you complement each other's stories is incredible." The idea sent a thrill through me. Aisha's eyes sparkled with excitement. We could combine our collections, share more about our journey as friends and writers. With newfound determination, we began to outline our book, intertwining our stories and experiences, highlighting the beautiful moments of our friendship that had blossomed through literature. We spent hours discussing themes, selecting pieces that resonated most with our shared journey. Months passed, and after countless revisions, we held the printed proof of our collaborative book. Titled Bound by Words, it was a celebration of our growth, our friendship, and the power of literature to connect us all. On launch day, the bookstore was filled with friends, family, and even strangers who had come to support us. As we signed copies and engaged with readers, I marveled at how far we had come since our first meeting in that quiet library corner. As I watched Aisha interact with fans, her passion and enthusiasm were palpable. I knew then that this was just the beginning of our literary journey together. No matter where life took us, different cities, careers, or even paths, we would always have our words, our stories, and the indelible mark of our friendship. In that moment, standing side by side with Aisha, I realized that as students of English literature, we had not only studied the past but also shaped our own narrative, one that would continue to unfold in the pages of our lives.
Video is over. Get out of here first, comment and let me know how you liked the video. And subscribe if you like your will, and it's part 2.